Yeniden merhaba. Yabancılarla konuşmamızı sağlayan uygulamaları tanıttığım ilk videomda hem size hem de bana ücretsiz deneme dakikası kazandıran Cambly referans kodumu paylaşmıştım. Kazandığım bu dakikaları bu sefer size farklı bir kültürel video olarak sunuyorum. Yabancılara tuhaf gelen 6 alışkanlığımız. Hemen bu yabancıları tanıyalım. Daha önceki pek çok videomdan ve el hareketleri videosundan tanıdığımız Veren.
Hareket yapma, hareketin aleyhine görürsün.
YDS sınavına soktuğum Amerikalılardan biri olan Ash.
I remember you. Yeah. Hi.
Ve yepyeni bir karakter Emily.
I'm from Chicago.
Bakalım bize çok normal gelen bazı alışkanlıklarımız yabancılara nasıl gelecek? Hazırsanız başlayalım.
In Turkey, it's very common for two men to kiss each other. Let me finish my word. On the cheek. Okay? When they meet and when they say goodbye to each other. What's the case in the United States? Have you ever heard of something like that?
You know, in the United States, that's not common at all. But, you know, maybe a handshake to somebody you know, or when you're first introducing yourself is common.
Mm-hmm.
But usually men kissing is not something they do at all, to be honest with you. In the United States, if you go in to do that to a man, he may punch you in the face.
Okay, now tell me the truth, Soren. Have you been kissed on the cheek before?
Yes, but not in the United States, only in other countries.
Okay.
I see it enough in other cultures on TV or just other people who aren't from the United States. So it's not really that weird for us to see.
Okay.
But we wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I don't think you'd see two American men kiss each other, but it wouldn't shock them if they saw it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think I'm probably less surprised because I live in France. So I've been living here for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So in France, everyone every 2 seconds to say goodbye, to say hello, and when someone new comes to the room, you have to kiss everyone else in the room. So I'm a little bit less surprised, but in the US, definitely it would never happen.
Yeah, well, in Turkey, it's not an actual kiss.
Right.
We just, touch our cheek to our friend's cheek, and that's all.
Erkek erkeğe öpüşmenin de bir raconu vardır. Yani erkek erkeğe öpüşme şudur. Ne haber moruk gibi.
Bir köşe yazarı her 5 erkekten biri mutlaka gay'dir demiş. Gay ne?
In Turkey, there are some places like cafes, but they are a bit different. They are called kahve. Kahve means coffee in Turkish, okay? But people usually drink tea in cafes, which is a bit strange. They are like cafes, but they are different in a way. Because only men go to cafes. No single woman go to a cafe. And, well, imagine a place where there are a bunch of men sitting at tables, playing cards, talking. It's something weird. What do you think about that?
It makes me think of the World Cup, where in France we called it, I don't remember, like the widow period, because all of the men go to the bars to watch the World Cup, and all of the women are just at home.
You know, they do have something similar to that in the United States, but they're not they're not like a cafe open to the general public. A lot of, like in New York City and places, you know, like in the back east, well, actually they're all over the United States, but they will have what they call gentlemen's clubs, where you have to be a member of the club, and you go and you can have a drink, maybe coffee, you know, maybe alcohol, smoke cigars, and talk business and get ideas for your business. But they're usually more in a club setting, and you have to be a member of the club to be able to get into them.
I see.
I like to go to coffee shops,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it'd be really, really weird if they said I wasn't allowed to go in because I'm a woman. That's just really weird to me. It's just that's about as weird as saying you can't go in because you're not white. That's really weird. But but in my country, I would be really angry. But in your country, I think I would just accept it because that's just how it is.
Buyur seferim.
Niye zart diye kapıyı açıyorsun lan?
Well, in Turkey, okay, when the doorbell rings, we ask on the intercom, who is that? This part is normal, but the person on the other side of the intercom says, it's me, and we open the door.
Really?
Yep. What's the case in the United States? How do you do it? Do you just open the door?
No. I've got a deadbolt. I've got 2 deadbolts. I look out the window first.
We just, it's you. Okay, it's me. He said it's me, so I should open the door. We just open the door. It would be impolite not to recognize someone by his or her voice, so we open the door.
You know, in bigger cities in the United States, they do a similar thing. But in smaller cities and here, like where I live, we don't say anything. We just open the door and
I don't know. I mean, I think that you would probably recognize the person. Yeah, I've never been in the position. Oh yeah, it's you. Come on up. Who are you?
Okay. You know, when we ask who is that, and if he or she says it's the cargo, it's the delivery man, we just open the door. It doesn't differ. No, we don't have to know.
You could get shot here for that. No. I don't want to get shot at the door in my own house.
In Turkey, when we drive on a highway and spot a police car on the opposite lane, pulled over on the side of the road so that it can measure the speeds of approaching cars, well, we feel ourselves responsible for warning the incoming cars by using our high beams. It's a duty for us, you know. If we don't do it, we feel bad, so we should do it, even though it's illegal in Turkey.
Radar var.
Was?
Radar selektör yaptım.
Radar birbirinize haber mi veriyorsunuz?
Evet.
Radar niye var o zaman?
Have you ever anything like that in the United States?
My dad used to flash his lights to warn people, not only of police, but if there was danger in the road. So as cars were coming, he would flash them.
That is so weird. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that here, but I think it's cool. I had a friend from Bulgaria when I was in college. This was years ago. And she would do that. And I'd say, what are you doing? She's like, I'm just warning everybody else. And I think that's actually really nice of you, but I don't know if they're going to understand.
Not with the high beams, but sometimes we'll put on the hazards. So we'll still warn people, but it's more with the backlights. So with the hazards, you still see it blinking. But yeah, we also warn people because no one wants a ticket. So I think everyone's like, okay, slow down.
Well, in Turkey, if you want to go across the street, and even though you use the zebra crossing for that, well, you have to wait for the cars to pass. You shouldn't jump on the road because cars have the ultimate superiority in Turkey on the roads. You just have to wait for a car to pass as opposed to many other countries.
Right, right.
It's the exact opposite in the United States. The pedestrian always has the right of way.
I can imagine it, but that's not the way it is here. If you hit somebody in a pedestrian crossing, you're going to be paying them a lot of money. They're going to be able to buy a house, send their kids to college.
I grew up in Chicago, where cars do not care if you're in the street. They will keep going. But in France, you have to stop if you see anyone even close to coming to cross. Everyone stops. So in France, everyone's very respectful.
Burası Y yolu. Bunun anlamını biliyor musunuz?
Sen bunun anlamını biliyor musun? Ha? Yürü. Yürü.
When we have house guests and we want to see them off at the end of a beautiful evening, we have a at-the-door conversation. Well, this conversation is done at the door, and it's sometimes longer than the conversation inside the house. And it's usually done with the door open, standing up. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
No, I mean, not unless that person is leaving for good or something. Like they're moving and you aren't going to see them for years.
I think it just depends on families, because my family tends to talk forever. So when we stand up and start going to the door, that means somebody needs to go home, but we still talk. But usually the door is closed.
Has it ever happened to you?
Only once, and I'm going to write this for you. This is called the Minnesota Long Goodbye. So I went to school in Minnesota, and so I came from Chicago, and so everything is always, fast. Okay, thank you for coming. Goodbye. I was shocked because I had so many Minnesotan friends that would invite me to family dinners or even amongst Minnesotans. And they would take, just like you said, forever to say goodbye. And it was shocking. It's like, okay, 30 minutes later, the door is open. I am waiting to go home. It's, 2 a.m. Can we just go? So that was the only time I've ever seen such a long goodbye.
Bu videoda yabancılara tuhaf gelen alışkanlıklarımızı test etmenin yanı sıra kültürel bazı farkları da öğrenmiş olduk. Bir sonraki speaking videomda ise hepinize keyifli geleceğini düşündüğüm kültürel açıdan ortak olan yönlerimizi konuşmayı planlıyorum. Bir sonraki video gelene kadar native speakerlarla kendiniz konuşmak isterseniz profil linklerine bu videonun açıklamalar kısmından ulaşabilirsiniz. Hoşça kalın.
The most important thing to remember about the Minnesota Long Goodbye is to start early.
Well, it's past our bedtime. We really gotta go.
Are you kidding? The news just started.
Watch the 10 o'clock news and the weather forecast. The next stage of the Long Goodbye takes place near the door. The guests have their coats on, and the hosts will soon follow them right out to the car.
Okay, we're leaving now. This is it.
I still say you don't have to go on.
Here I am.
You'll now enter stage 3, which takes place just outside the house.